This is our Wednesday morning class. Okay, we're going to start with the hair anatomy. Like I said, the reason hair anatomy is so important is because our fabric is our canvas, right? Our canvas, a painting is going to look different on a really thick, matted, textured canvas or very, very flat, shiny canvas. We take the same paint on two different canvases and they're going to perform and behave differently, correct? So we need to understand the hair anatomy and physiology as the foundational starting point when we begin to formulate, okay? We're going to look at the hair strand itself if it was just cut right down the center and we're looking at it through a microscope. What is on the inside? Medulla. What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here then?
Oh, that's
What's here?
space in between.
Who said that? What is it? Yes. It's a K layer. It's a keratin fatty layer. It's a fatty keratin layer. Okay, so it's keratin, it's protein, and fatty acids, lipids. Okay, this is not what you're learning in school, right? I don't know why they're not teaching. I don't know why, because they are still teaching from 40, 30 years ago. You talk to any major color manufacturer, they recognize the K layer as one of the most vital and important roles in retaining hair color. They kind of just marry these together and they're like, oh, it's all the cortex in school, which is not necessarily true, right? I want you to think about this as the center of the earth. As you go down towards the center of the earth, it gets more compact and compressed. It doesn't really change as far as your peptide change or your protein chains are concerned, as far as the molecular makeup. What does happen is it becomes tighter and tighter and tighter. So a cortex and a medulla are essentially the same thing. What the difference is internal area to pack in color molecule, okay? Strength, right? That is a medulla. So it's all a cortex. Anything under a cuticle is technically the cortex. We're talking density value here, okay? This layer that lives right underneath the cuticle is what the cuticle, the scales of the snake, are attached to. I want you to envision a balloon, right? I want you to envision a balloon with a bunch of scales on it. Okay, when that balloon deflates, those scales that are already compact lose surface area in which for them to lay down on. So they start collapsing in on themselves, and those scales, as the balloon gets smaller and the surface area becomes less, those scales actually open up, right? And they're just hanging on by a thread here. As that balloon inflates, those scales have room to lay down because there's more surface area, right? That is the impact that a K layer has in the cortex and for the cuticle. We know that if a cuticle is upright and open and has no surface area to collapse in on itself, it is porous. If we put hair color on porous hair, what happens? What happens if we put hair color in porous hair?
Does it catch it
It temporarily will catch it faster, right? But where is it living? It lives out here, right? It lives out here. It doesn't live in the K layer or in the cortex as much. That porous hair is like a filter, and you throw dirty air or water at it and it's going to catch all those little color molecules. So that porous hair right around here and on that porous ends, they're going to drink it up, right? They're going to look real dark after you color them. But what's going to happen in 3 or 4 washes? Those porous ends or those porous over-processed hairs, they're going to lose the hair color the quickest. And the healthy hair is going to retain more long term. The healthy hair had a cuticle to collapse in on itself and seal it down, and that K layer was healthy enough and aerated enough for those color molecules to penetrate to where they were supposed to be, right? So this K layer here is made up of 2 different things. I kind of mentioned it. Can anybody tell me what's inside that K layer? Protein and lipid fats. So protein and hydration, protein and hydration, protein and hydration, okay? This is where we start strand testing. Is it an elasticity issue? Is it a porosity issue? What does the hair look and feel like? When I touch someone's hair, I can tell you exactly what they're missing as far as keratin, protein, or an intact cuticle layer, right? That's because I've trained my fingertips to understand the difference of the canvas, the difference of the thick, heavy canvas versus the shiny, sleek canvas, right? I know how it feels, and so this is one of the reasons I push you guys to do reps behind the chair so frequently. Do 20 freaking blowouts before you can even say you can charge for a blowout, or before you can even touch one of the clients that you're assisting another stylist for, right? You need to understand the fabric of hair. This is your craft. This isn't just everybody has the same hair. We all know that. All hair is good hair, right? But we need to understand the difference. So the protein and fatty layer is an essential layer in the function of the health of the cuticle and its ability to retain color molecule. Any questions so far about the K layer moving forward? No questions. Okay, do we have any questions on YouTube? No, we don't. Okay. Let's talk about, I think this is a great time to segue into permanent, demi, and semi hair color. Are you guys ready to talk about those things? Okay. Can we all make the assumption that permanent, demi, and semi hair color behave differently on the hair? Can you give me an example of a semi-permanent hair color? A line, a color, anything? Fix, what is semi?
Well, like Pravana I've got on my hair.
Yes, Vivids, right? Danger Jones, right?
Arctic Fox.
Arctic Fox, right? Semi-permanent. Those are plug and play. You get what you see. If it looks blue in the bottle, it's going to be blue on the hair, right? That's a semi-permanent. How does semi-permanent behave? What does the color retention look like? What does that look like? Can anybody give me any more information on semi-permanent hair color?
I think like the molecules like larger, so it's like on top of the hair.
Oh, girl. Hey, will you do me a favor? Will you turn the air on? Yeah, I smell something coming through that door there, and I don't like it.
There's no developer, so
Correct.
semi just sits on top. It doesn't penetrate.
Okay, correct. All correct. Semi does not require a developer. Okay, that is a direct, also known as a direct dye. Semi also is a larger color molecule. It kind of magnets itself to the outside of the hair shaft, right? It also will not retain as long because it doesn't live inside of the hair shaft. It lives on the outside of the hair shaft. We have these really fun color lines. Redken Shades EQ is one of them that carries a direct, and you don't even realize it has a direct non-oxidative base to it, right? So it's a direct dye. It has direct dye color molecules in it immediately, in combination with a demi, which are color molecules that need a developer to oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? To oxidize, to curate, to develop, right? So we have semi, which is no developer, large color molecule. We have demi, which is a smaller color molecule, needs a developer to oxidize to show its true color. Then we have permanent, which is the smallest, also needs a developer to oxidize, right? If we are talking about center of the earth, gravity mass, that kind of thing, more dense at the center, thicker hair has a medulla, thinner hair does not, you can now start to see the available internal space on each hair shaft varies on how dense that hair shaft is, and will tell you exactly where and what type of color molecule will be depositing on that hair shaft. I'm going to repeat that again and try to say it in a different way. If the hair is more dense, you are going to have more internal area for those smaller color molecules to live in. If it's less dense, if there's no medulla, and we only have a cortex, you can assume that a demi, which is a little bit larger of a color molecule, is going to live around here. Yes,
I have a question.
yes.
Gray hair, because when you feel a gray hair, it feels different, it's growing different. Does it have a different breakdown?
Yeah. Gray hair is
Or is
more
it the
often
exact
than not. More often than not, gray hair has a medulla.
same? Okay.
My gray hair does not have a medulla. I'm very fine baby hair kind of girl. Okay? And we could pull a gray hair out of my head and you're literally like, yeah, it's still fine AF, right? So, for me, when you notice someone with a very fine gray hair and you're trying to color their hairline and you use a permanent, sometimes it drinks up that color and makes it look way darker than it actually is. That's because that color molecule did not have this internal diameter or surface to inject its small color molecule, so a lot of it lives right on the outside. It's almost like twice the color molecule lives on the outside because there is no internal surface area, or internal area for that small color molecule to live. So we'll notice just on the density of the hair how thick or thin that hair shaft is. It retains color differently. There's different amounts of color molecule inside of that hair shaft reflecting a different amount of light, making it look lighter or darker. So, but yes, that's a great question. So what I'm the point I want to make with you guys, we have semi, we have demi, and then we have permanent, right? Each of those live at a different area on the hair shaft. A lot of times when we have a fine-haired girly, like let's say Vix or Alexis or even myself come in and we're like, hey, I want to go all over brown, whatever it is. I want it to be a cool brown. Why is it, number one, that it doesn't look as dark as we thought it was going to look? And number two, why am I getting hot roots? Why do I get hot roots? Well, because I didn't have enough deposition. I didn't have enough coverage with a permanent color on fine hair. It didn't have enough internal area for all those color molecules to go into. A lot of it washed off. Exactly. This is why I opt to use a demi, which lives more as like a gel coating. It lives more in this external area for fine-haired girlies because you can encapsulate and cover 100% on fine-haired girlies without having to worry about the internal area because the demi is going to kind of live surface area-ish on top, right? It creates that nice barrier, that nice gel coat, if you would, like if you were talking nails, around the hair shaft. The demi that we have can cover gray 100% when mixed 1-to-1. I love it for gray coverage. If Alexis came into me in 30 years and she had gray everywhere and was like, I need to be that natural, summery blonde that I was when I was 20, I would use a demi on her. I would not use a permanent to cover your gray. Did you have a question? You were going to say something?
No, it just made me giggle how you said, I want that when I was 20. It
Yeah.
just made me giggle.
Everyone says that, right? They're all like, I want my hair with diamonds. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
So are you saying that, like, if somebody came in with fine hair, like, and then, like, if it was light like that, and then they wanted to go, like, do a full color brown, that you would just use a demi?
Oh, yeah. If you wanted an all-over color with no lift, mind you, you don't lift with a demi, right? We're talking deposit only. If you wanted an all-over color and you wanted a tonal shift or you wanted the same level or darker, I would use a demi on you. I would not use a permanent on you. The permanent would be too translucent on you because you don't have a lot of internal area for that color molecule to compact itself in. So this is the cool thing about permanent hair color, especially with alpha parf. They perform as covalent bonds. Does anybody know what a covalent bond is? A covalent bond is a bond of two molecules that find each other and they latch on, they get married, and they become the same molecule, okay? It's like two small ones become a big one, right? That's a covalent bond. And that's what happens with permanent hair color when it goes into the hair shaft and there's a lot of internal area. All of these tiny little happy little color molecules go into this hair shaft. They go down to the center of the earth because they're the only ones that can wiggle their way that far down into the hair shaft because they're the smallest, right? And once they find each other, all of a sudden, boom, they start making these bigger color molecules. And they start pushing out the melanin that was in there. And it's getting replaced with permanent hair color, right? I hope I'm giving you guys a good enough visual to understand how this works, okay? Once those bigger covalent bonds become bigger color molecules, they're locked into that hair shaft. They cannot come out. The space in between the cuticle to get through that K layer is too small for them to get out, right? So they essentially are there forever. This is essential for you guys to understand color corrections and how they work and the tools that we use to get them to work. One of the tools that I use is CPR by Malibu Pro. And what that does essentially as an artificial color extractor is it compacts, it compresses those large covalent bonds, makes them smaller because of heat. It makes them smaller and they shrink a little bit, and then we can like manually manipulate some of that out, right? So that's why when we're like, hey, I'm a level 3 box dye at home, but I want to put in some highlights, I'm like, we're going to CPR her first because I don't want to have to lift through old hair color. I'd rather pull those molecules out of the hair shaft before I put bleach on it, and that's going to save the integrity of the hair. It's going to give me a cleaner and quicker lift, right? It'll give me more predictable results. Sophia firsthand has seen the difference between using CPR and not using CPR before we lift hair and the results that it will give you if it's used correctly, okay? So these covalent bonds are permanent hair color. They can't get out of the hair shaft. Demi kind of lives here, and so that exchange is more fluid. That's why Demi will fade faster than a permanent because it kind of goes in and out, right? It doesn't really change or fluctuate in size. And then that semi, those direct dyes, those Vivids, Danger Jones, whatever we got, Pravana, they live out here. Those come and go rapidly, as you know, okay? So we have to understand the chemical composition of the color that we're using. Is it a demi mixed with a direct dye? Is it a permanent mixed with a direct dye? Right? Are there permanent and demi-permanent attributes or qualities to this specific hair color, which some lines do that?
Are you saying the covalent bonds are only in permanent or in all three?
Only in permanent usually.
Okay.
Yeah, but not necessarily in semi. I would have to do the research to know better.
Because when you're talking about the bonds building, I guess I answered my own question because I know with color, the ones that are bigger are the first to stick and the first to go.
That's depending on how far they are inside the hair shaft.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's not the covalent bond you're talking about.
Covalent bonds, when they create bigger color molecules, they're stuck inside there. They can't get out, right? Semi, with these big color molecules, they live around the surface. They don't get as far in as a permanent or a demi would because they're so big. They can't wiggle their way in there unless the hair is already very extremely porous, lacking protein, lacking moisture. There's a lot of gaps. There's a lot of broken pieces in that structural rigidity of those polypeptide chains. There's a lot of broken gaps for those color molecules to fit in. That's the only time when a semi with a large color molecule can actually get deep into the hair shaft. But we're talking about medium texture, medium density, healthy hair. Normally it's just living on top and it does not become a covalent bond. I honestly think that you need an oxidative agent, so an energy creating component like developer to engage that covalent bond system to happen. I believe that's true. I'll have to do the research on that, but I think it only is really permanent that does that. Okay. I want to get each of you to give me just one sentence on something that you either learned or that you think I'm saying right now. Can we do that? Kenna, what are you about?
Like repeat?
Yes. Anything that you has stuck out to you about this specific anatomy of the hair shaft in relationship to permanent, semi, and demi hair color?
It's very, like the outside, semi, bigger molecules to stick to, not enough room to go in.
Yes.
Permanent, smaller, semi, medium, kind of go in a little bit more, and then like permanent or tiny, so they penetrate all the way through.
Yes, but you just switched semi and demi, the words, but I know what you were saying.
Oh,
Yes.
So yeah, so thicker hair, you need more smaller molecules to go in and penetrate. Thinner hair, you just need something kind of just to coat.
To give it a big hug. Yes. Do you have an aha, a question? Anything that you retain, new information that you learned?
Like thinner hair has less fray on.
Yes, thinner hair has less internal area. Vix.
Specifically with the grays, I noticed when I did like my mom's hair, she has very fine gray hair, but she has a lot of gray hair. But when I did with the permanent color, it stuck a lot more than, so the demi would probably be better for her, but that was my
Yep. That's your aha, is your mom has fine gray hair. A demi is going to perform more consistently than a permanent, and it's still going to give you 100% gray coverage if you're using this line mixed 1-to-1 at 20 volume.
And then I would do like retouch-ups sometimes, and like it wouldn't be dark brown, it would be like yellow and gray.
So a lot of that yellowish tone that you're getting is the color line you're using. Now we're talking about PPD versus PTD, which is the synthetic of PPD. PPD is an allergen and also a base used in 80% of the world's color. I'm allergic to it. We are a PPD free salon specifically because of me, because I will welt up. I'm going to the ER, like that kind of allergy, right? PTD is what we use in Alpha Park. Why are they different? Oh my God, PPD is an orange, almost like Garfield type base color, and it's very translucent and it's light. I noticed, and if science agrees, that a PPD hair color performs better from a level 5 and down with more consistency because you get more variety in those levels because it has a lighter base. A PTD is a marooned color base, not like Garfield, it's maroon color base. So it's cooler toned. And that one performs very well at a 5 and up. There's a lot of variety as far as the 5 and up is concerned, and it's gonna give you a very true, opaque, cooler toned base or undertone or shade. But it has less variety as far as the difference between a 4 to a 1. And if you look at Alpha Parf, like the colorer doesn't even have a 2. It goes from 1 to 3, right? So, and that's because it's a PTD base with a maroon shade. So what you're lacking is the right color line. If you're like doing a root retouch at a level 8 or 7 and you're getting it yellow or clear or it looks really hot rooty, I can go out and I can see on the street who's been touched up with a Redken level 6. I can see it, right? It all behaves differently. So, and also depending on the hair type that they have, thick or thin, I think that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So, I would switch your color line, and then we'll talk about like the hair fabric intensity. What were you gonna say?
That was the question or comment, is if you can give an example of a PPD color line just so she can connect it. Versus if she's used Alpha Parker before, she knows the difference. If she's used Redken or if she's used Paul Mitchell, to know the difference in like the undertones of each color line.
So one of the things I loved about Paul Mitchell is that they had a 3G, a 3 gold. I loved a 3 gold. A 3G was so great. I made so many different formulas. One of my favorite was a 3G and a 4RV. And to make like this really like coppery deep cinnamon, right? And I loved it because the G and the V would cancel each other out. But they're a PPD color line, meaning they have a variety of lower tones under a 5, not so hot from a 6, 7, 8 and up, right? They get really, really warm. And I can't use it anymore. So I use Alpha Park, but we don't have a 3G, right? We have far less variety and a 4, 3, and 2 levels. So yes, they do perform differently, and you can use different lines based off of different objectives. I know a lot of stylists that are like, I buy just these colors from this line, and I buy just these colors from this line. Raquel does a lot of that, and I know you do that too sometimes.
Yeah, I just bought 1B the other day because
it's different.
Alpha Park doesn't offer
not like that
1B gloss. They just don't.
So the 1B gloss in shades is very matte and flat in tone. If you put on polarized sunglasses and you look at a 1B on someone's hair in sunlight, it defragments the light reflection, and you can see almost with your bare naked eye the texture of each color molecule on the hair shaft. It looks like velvet. It looks like velvet. Yes, polarized sunglasses, they defragment the light reflection, and you can truly see the deposition of color molecule on the hair shaft. It lives on the outside of the hair shaft. It's crazy. But I digress. Let's talk about something else. Any ahas for you so far with hair anatomy and demi permanent?
Definitely the thing that you were saying about using like a demi on somebody that has like thinner hair or more like porous hair, because I feel like I would automatically be like, oh, okay, you want it to last longer, like, let me just put a permanent on you. But so, and I also have a question too before I forget. The CPR, can that be used on any hair type? Like, or is that gonna cause like, does that cause damage to the hair? Like,
CPR can be used up to 4 times in one day. Okay. It's a lot. You could use it a lot back to back to back. It's great, but it will lift and distort melanin in virgin hair. So if they have a regrowth from here down, all black, and then they're a level 6 from here up, if you get it on the root virgin, it will distort it. I'm not super cautious about that because usually I'm going back through with a full permanent anyways. But yeah, that's something to think about.
I have a question. I don't know how to like ask the question, but with your permanent color, if you're deciding to use 10 or 20 and your covalent bonds, you said it's a smaller molecule, but based off the developer that you're using, I assume it would make it move faster, but also when those covalent bonds are attaching to each other, does the developer affect how fast they attach?
Yes. Because there's more oxygen, there's more energy. They will connect quicker. Yes, with a higher developer.
Will they connect more with a higher
No,
developer?
you only have so many. Color molecules going into the hair shaft, right? So
Wait, but then so that would make me think that if you're trying to cover up 75 to 100% of gray coverage, if you're using a permanent, letting it sit for the 45 minutes versus using from 20 to 10, would you let it sit less time because it's moving faster?
No.
So what is the difference in it in the bonds moving faster or not moving as fast?
Deeper penetration. So you have, with a higher volume developer, you are going to have more melanin exchange. So what you asked was, are we going to be creating more covalent bonds with a higher developer? Answer is no. You're not creating more covalent bonds because there's only so many color molecules entering the hair shaft. What you are doing with a higher volume developer is a more melanin exchange, okay? A higher level of melanin exchange. More melanin is going to leave the hair with a 40 than it will with a 10. Creating more internal area for those covalent bonds to reside.
So that was my next question, is when you use 30 and 40 with the 566I, you know that one girl I do?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's just removing the melanin faster.
Or more of it.
Or more of it.
Yeah.
So then,
You're connecting bonds faster, but you're removing more melanin.
So then here is my next question. Because I know when you bleach through, you're removing. But can you have the same problem doing that multiple times with the 30 and 40 removing?
Tell me one more time. Explain to me one more time what you're saying. Thank you.
So when you bleach through hair, this is like a different. When you're bleaching through hair, you're bleaching through the levels. You're still removing the melanin, correct?
And protein.
And protein. So are you removing the melanin and the protein when you're using 30 and 40 on the hair?
Yes, but it's not as abrasive because the alkalinity is much lower than with bleach.
Can you still get like as damaged as you can with bleach though?
No.
Okay.
No. A 40 with hair color is not going to perform the same way as 40 with bleach. Although
You'll still feel porous?
You would still feel porous.
Okay.
Yes, you would still feel porous afterwards. Although you have to keep in mind something like a high lift dramatically increases the alkalinity of the hair color, and you can melt hair with a high lift in 40, just like you could melt hair with high lift and bleach.
So, but when we use our permanent here, that's not considered high lift.
There's high lift series in our permanent, and then there's regular.
But like that's the 10 and the 11s, right? And like the 2000s and the boosters. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Wait, what is it that's in the highlight that's like not in the regular like permanent color?
Ammonia. Yeah, it's more ammonia. Yeah, so that increases the alkalinity in permanent hair color. We're lucky to have a low ammonia line, and then the colorware is a no ammonia line. That's why colorware, the demi, does not lift. Demi does not lift. Demi should not have ammonia in it. It shouldn't. A true demi does not have ammonia. We have an ammonia derivative or a synthetic arginine, which is great. I love arginine. Arginine, everybody should be using arginine. It leaves the hair shiny and silky and soft and touchable. Yes.
Sorry. When you're using the 30 and the 40 with the permanent, what is that removing to make it feel porous? Is that removing the keratin or the protein?
Protein. That protein is keratin, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Melanin is not going to have any kind of removal of melanin is not going to have any evidence as far as touch is concerned. It's not going to feel different if you're exchanging a color molecule for a melanin molecule, right? It's almost unilateral. But what decreases the fabric or increases the porosity is really the loss of keratin. It's a loss of protein. It's a loss of the polypeptide or those protein chains.
Well, I understand that, but I do that a lot with the 30 and 40 with alpha par.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to understand better how that affects their hair.
Oh yeah. So, and that goes back to our K layer. Okay, it does eat through that K layer, which is why even though if you're only using a permanent and a 30 or a 40 on the mids and ends, it is so vital that they have the right prescription for protein and moisture, right? For somebody who's habitually putting 30 or 40 on the ends, I say that they use a lightweight protein component shampoo and conditioner in addition to some kind of leave-in hydration, or if it's not a protein shampoo and a moisture conditioner or one of those two flip-flopped, that is the ideal scenario for them.
So if they continue using that, they continue doing the 30 and the 40, is there risk for over-potenizing their hair?
Not if you're breaking those proteins down every service. Yeah, if you're breaking those proteins down every service, people who use a proteinized shampoo or conditioner are the ones who are having their hair treated or doing a full color every service, right? Which is why we have this chronic issue with over-proteinizing the hair. If you're using a protein shampoo, or even if Kenya's using a protein-based shampoo, she should go through that series one time, start to finish, that shampoo bottle, and then move on to moisture. We need to layer. The K layer needs protein first, then moisture, then you address the cuticle, okay? Addressing the cuticle would be something like shine, sealing, giving light reflection, those kind of things will help the cuticle. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, there's like 5.
Yes. Oh, you had a question.
You still have Fortify, right?
We do have Fortify. Fortify is a great product to spray on the mids and ends after, or for clients who are getting their mids and ends colored every service. It's great. It is wonderful.
What is it?
It evens out the porosity. It's Fortify. You want to show them?
Find it, but let me ask you first.
It's a blue bottle. It was a blue
Oh,
bottle.
it's a blue bottle. I know I used it over there.
What's a good protein shampoo that we have for you?
Okay, so the Bodifying, not the Bodifying, the Beautifying Elixirs has a moisture. Okay, so you guys, I'll be real with you. This is the one that I recommend more often than not.
This is the old bottle.
That's the old bottle, yeah.
Except for it's so good.
So this is the Beautifying Elixir Moisture Intense Conditioner and Shampoo. Moisture Intense doesn't sound like it says protein, does it? No, but it has both, which is why I love it for clients who are coloring their hair at every service. This is also great for Vivid's clients. I love the Moisture Intense for people who are either putting bleach or high lift or a heavy permanent tone or something on their mids and ends every service. Because this will give you protein and moisture. In a perfect balance, I'm telling you.
Is that a good one to recommend for them to use like regularly, or is that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. If they're seeing you, if their mids to ends color every service, they should be using that at home every wash. Right? Another great combination for protein then moisture is urgent repair followed by leave-in hydration. Okay, I'll cheat code this one too. So I do urgent repair. I recommend urgent repair for like 9 out of 10 of my guests all the time. It's such a great generic shampoo, and because of the pH balance on this, if it is left on, and I have many of my assistants do this, if it's left on for 5 minutes or longer, it automatically becomes a protein treatment. Okay, yes. It starts fortifying the hair, those protein bonds, and then the urgent repair treatment also has protein and moisture in it in a great combination, great balance here. So, but this doesn't get heavy because it has great clarifying, gentle clarifying properties, and it's color safe. You can use this day in and day out on fine hair, and I know this because I use it and I have the finest hair in the room, I'm telling you. You can use this day in and day out, and it's gonna keep you wonderfully balanced as far as protein and moisture is concerned, and you will not over-proteize the hair. So those are my two as far as favorites as far as Euphor is concerned, if we're talking protein and moisture. And then if we're talking about, if we were just doing protein, and you wanted them to use the urgent repair, but they still needed a lot of moisture, then you're gonna do the leave-in, which is the leave-in hydration, and the beautifying serum. One of the reasons I love the beautifying serum for the K-layer is because it's a biocompatible, pure botanical oil extract, meaning it has no heavy carrier base to it. It's high in vitamin C and antioxidant content, and it will restore and give you anti-aging properties for the hair. It protects against environmental elements, UV damage, all kinds of things. Just, you know, hydration imbalance, that kind of stuff. So these are my two favorite cocktails when we're like doing like a repair emergency status on the hair. If your client is not suffering with protein or moisture loss, and you just need something to help protect their cuticle daily, it's the aloe therapy. It's an aloe-based shampoo. It's so compatible with our hair, skin, and nails. It's a great, just generally protecting hair product or shampoo conditioner. But what I was going to say was, we talked about. Here, I'm going to show you. Okay. So, building on this theory, right? K-layer, protein, moisture. Let's say we just put the protein and we just put the moisture in. Now we gotta address the cuticle. It's in that order that we're addressing the hair health. We have Sculpture and Illuminate. One of the reasons that we recommend this product, and we say it will extend the life of your color up to 30% when you use it after every wash, is because what it's doing now is it's sealing the cuticle down. It's giving that cuticle a nice, soft, reflective layer, protective layer. It protects against UV damage. It protects against thermal damage. It tells the cuticle to behave itself, so it will lay down in the uniform fashion that it's supposed to stay and sit. I literally put this on everybody for that reason, but I put this on after I do moisture or protein, then I do this, then I do styling products. Those of you who have assisted me know that I have an order. I'm like, I want you to do either the Fortify, the leave-in hydration, whatever it is, the protein, the moisture. Then I want you to do Sculpture and Illuminate, then comb it through. Then I want you to put on the Formation. Then I want you to put on the volumizing spray. Then I want you to put in the Behave or the Boost after that, right? Because we want to build on top of a healthy hair shaft. And I'm telling you, you guys, this stuff might sound really minor. It might sound like we're talking in 0.05 degree shifts. Every single step, every single product is just like one tiny little half degree or 1 degree shift. What are we looking at? What's going on out there? We okay? See, okay.
I'm just thinking.
Oh, I thought something was happening. I was like,
Car and
No,
then
it's dark and it's hot right now, so.
yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, he was moving.
I could see it in the reflection, but I couldn't see if anybody was getting out or not. So all this stuff might talk. We're talking about 0.1 degree or 1 degree shifts. Every little thing we do, leaving shampoo on in the wash bowl to balance pH before we tone, dressing our clients with protein and moisture at the chair before we seal the cuticle down. Then we're putting on our styling product. All those 1 degree shifts add up. They make the difference between average, basic, underwhelming hairstylist hair and an excellent quality service. The magic is in the details. So you guys know that about me though. Like, nope, we're gonna wrap her this way. Nope, we're gonna wash her out this way. Nope, we're gonna use this temperature water. Nope, we're gonna do this, right? And that's all for a reason. All right, so we understand hair anatomy, physiology. Wait, hold on. Aha. No, you already said, what is your,
It's the same as the demi on the finer hair.
Demi on finer hair? Okay. Demi on finer hair. Tabby, what about you?
I think like everybody kind of already said that, but
Yeah, just like
making your assessing the texture of the hair first before you know.
Yeah,
so
before
you
you,
know, permanent will be the best on everybody.
exactly. Yep.
Pretty much all the same things.
Come on, come up with one articulate thought. You have more experience in this
It's not
room.
really ahas, it's just explanations of being said certain different ways.
Yes.
Of seeing things different.
Absolutely.
That are like ahas, but not.
Yeah, well, things that we know, but now we know why.
Yeah, different ways of seeing things done.
Yep.
Or explained helps a lot.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot.
So let's move down, you guys. The color wheel. Label the color wheel. I'll send you a $15 gift card if you can. Oh, you've never been to Dutch Bros, huh? You were like, there's not one in the area. Because you live in Temecula, huh?
I think it's just for once.
they're building one.
They are, yeah.
Where?
They're building one over there, like right off of 79, kind of.
Shut up.
Like
Saw
5
the
minutes.
video.
You know what other store uses? Right off the 79, yeah, they're building one right there.
I saw the sign too. I was like, no way. There's gonna be a line out
That's
there.
great.
I'll send you a $15 gift card if you can label the color wheel.
Like all the colors
Yeah.
and like where they're supposed to be.
Well, I mean, they're all relative to each other. I don't care if it's upside down.
It has to be.
Yeah, can you come up here and point to them?
Like,
If you can't, no worries. This is just we like to play fun games around here.
Okay. I'm gonna start with red.
Everybody, shh. Okay.
For red,
Yes.
red violet,
Okay.
blue violet, blue, blue green, yellow green, green, no, yellow blue, no. This is harder than it looks.
Okay. So we have red, blue, and yellow, right? Great. So then in there we have our secondary colors. We have orange, violet, and green, correct? So in between blue and green, we have a tertiary color, which is a third layer of color, right? Secondary plus a primary equals a tertiary. Yep? Okay. So let's do this. Let's see if I can do it. So we have red. We have, hold on. Yeah, here we go. So we have red. We have red, violet. We have violet. We have blue, violet. We have blue. We have blue, green. We have green. We have yellow, green. We have yellow. We have yellow, orange. We have orange, and then we have orange, red. Correct? Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, we got. I know it is way harder than. I'm like, wait. No, I got this.
Oh, my colors.
A concept that I want to introduce you guys to is a neutral scale If we haven't already talked about this, there's neutral versus warm natural, right? So it's like, it just depends on how gray that neutral is, or how brown that natural is, or how yellow that warm natural is. So
Did you
those
say neutral and natural?
neutral natural and warm natural. Yes.
Just making sure I heard you right.
Neutral, natural, and warm natural. So that's like the natural scale, right? And that's, the only reason I'm introducing that is because those are the bases to our gray coverage. Will someone run and grab me grab me color books? Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is something I do want to go over with you guys. We already went over the behaviors of deposition. Oh, we do want to answer these together though. Okay. And then we'll be done. All right, my loves. You guys, I don't expect you to remember this, but I am going to go over the decimal system and our hair color. It's on the back right here, okay? For those of you who do not use yet decimal system, and we're used to like a Paul Mitchell system of like 3G or 4R or whatever it is, right? We're gonna start translating into the decimal system. So we're always gonna have the level, which is the first numeric value when reading a hair color box. Will someone go grab me a hair color box, a few different samples? Actually,
Oh wait, Lauren, I have it on a flyer. I have it on a flyer.
oh, you do? Nice. Okay, so our numeric values, right? So the first number before the decimal indicates what? The level, right? The first number after the decimal indicates what? Dominant pigment. Tonal value, what? Dominant pigment, so that's the tone, right? If we start moving down, we go from 1 decimal place to 2 decimal places. That is also what? Tonal value, right? All the way to the 3rd decimal point, okay? All the way to the 3rd decimal point. Do you know the difference between a color that has 1 decimal value versus 3? Do we know the difference? Let's say, for example, a 6.5 versus a 6.522.
It's not going to be more like the 6.5 is going to be one true, like 20 true or something.
Actually, the opposite.
Does it have double pigment?
Not double pigment. Stupid. Ah. Ugh, why did I say anything? Okay, no. So the 1 decimal value, yes?
It's 50, 30, 20 for each number
Yes.
behind the decimal.
Yes.
So it's, if you have a 6 point whatever, your level is a level 6, but the numbers are like the backbone of your color. I don't know what each number means, but I know if the 6 is like gold or whatever it is. It's like 50% gold, 30% violet.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so she's correct. As you move down the decimal system, post the decimal, not the level, we're talking tonal value, it goes from the first number, which is 50% of the tonal value, and if there's nothing behind it, we're going to assume it's neutral. So a 6.5 is 50% 5, which is mahogany, and 50% neutral. That's how this color is going to behave. If we have a 9.442, which is 3 decimals, we know the first decimal is 50% tonal value, the second decimal is 30% tonal value, and the last decimal is 20% tonal value. So 50, 30, 20 equals 100% tonal value. This is a 0 neutral or natural permanent color. There's no neutral, there's no natural in here. This is all tone. That's what 3 decimals mean, okay? A lot of times we have something that it has 2 decimal values behind it. So this is a 6.45. That means 50% of this color is 4, which is copper, and 30% of the color is 5, which is mahogany. There's no 3rd decimal value to it. 20% is natural or neutral.
Wow.
Wow! Mind blown.
I just never understood them.
Nobody's explained it to you.
And of course they're right here.
Nobody's explained it to you. That's why you don't understand it. It's because I'm an asshole and I didn't teach you. You've been with me for like 9 months now, so it's my fault. Okay, so I just want you guys to understand the ratio of pigment that we're dealing with.
What the fuck, and I'm sorry.
I know, we're gonna stop cussing in this salon. Everybody stop cussing now.
It's hard. They will.
I know, it's hard. It is hard.
Swear jar.
So there's,
We'll be rich.
We're gonna pay for our Christmas party with that.
We're rich on ourselves.
there's legit like no way of questioning what a 6354 is.
No way. You know exactly what it is with science. If I had marbles with science, if I had marbles with all of our colors, with our tonal values, I could.
Yeah, take a picture of it, but I have this hung up on my wall because I'm still trying to learn it because I want to go to the master's certification class.
Insanely helpful.
You guys can all take a picture.
If you want me to blow it up and put it in the back room, I will.
Yeah, copy it.
I'll copy it.
Yeah.
I'll copy it. I'll blow it up.
Literally be so.
You guys, I'm gonna put it on the inside of our aprons. Is what I'm gonna
Qualification time.
do. Dude, that's such a good idea. I could do that. I literally could do that. I could put it on the inside of our apron.
Okay, marks. Got it.
I'm just looking at my color wheel real quick.
You know the sweatshirt you offered to make kids? I want this on it.
Okay. Okay.
You wash it once, you're like, wait.
You guys, I'm gonna make color wheels and I'm gonna print them on our sweatshirts. They'll be like right here.
A little app for your watch.
A little cheat sheet. Oh my god, that's such a good idea though. Why would we not do that?
An Apple Watch or something? You can totally do it too.
Or just put it on our sweatshirts or our clothes. Okay,
Lauren,
sorry.
remember that girl that started with me? The one with curly hair. She had it like tattooed on her arm right here.
Stacy?
Yeah,
Okay,
she had it tattooed on her arm.
that's funny. Okay, so
Color wheel.
you guys, if I had marbles, each in those tonal values, right? If we're talking about tone value for the numeric system, I could show you and teach you advanced color theory. I could teach you advanced color theory simply by adding in marbles based off of the ratios of color, of tone listed through the numerical value system, right? Are we following? This is a glimpse into advanced color theory, which I might even just do that. Maybe I should buy the
What's
marbles.
that game? The round board game. That has all the marbles. It's almost like.
Oh.
No, but well, you could use that for the color wheel too.
I have Mancola, but I don't think that's it. I
Could
think,
you use colored marble to do that?
well, it's so when we intro into advanced color theory, it is algebra. So it's one blue plus 3 yellow equals true green. That's a true green. Why is that? Because a true yellow has a less intensity of color molecule than blue because it's smaller. Because it's larger, it reflects more light, so it makes it look lighter. So to get a true green,